I just wanted a daughter. Just one. But wanting wasn't enough. I had to beg. My name is Tara Levitt, 38 years old, living in Manhattan, managing an investment fund worth hundreds of millions. I didn't come from old money, no Vanderbilts or Rockefellers in my family tree. My dad was a plumber in Queens. My mom a supermarket cashier who walked out when I was 10. I built everything from scratch. And now, money is money. It opens doors blood can't. One of those doors was Fleur, a mysterious shop in New York's Lower East Side. No sign, no ads, just a 3-story brownstone tucked between bakeries and thrift stores. Fleur isn't a place you stumble into. You need a referral from an insider and an appointment, down to the minute. They sell, rent, or store magical items. Things that sound like fairy tales but are real, if you believe in them. I learned about Fleur from a client, Henry Voss, an old tycoon with eyes sharp as razors. He invested $50 million in my fund. And one day, over scotch in my office, he handed me a red envelope. Inside was a white card, handwritten in black ink. Tara Levitt, 8 p.m. Thursday, August 17th, 2025. Fleur. No phone number, no email, just that. I asked what it was, and he smirked. You'll see. That night, August heat baked the city, the sun dipping behind skyscrapers. I arrived on time, dressed in a gray suit and heels, clutching the red envelope like a ticket to a secret show. The building was unremarkable. White door, 2 Greek columns, mossy steps. I knocked. Slow footsteps echoed, and the door swung open. A woman stood there, about 50, silver hair loosely tied, wearing a baggy white shirt and faded jeans. She looked like a flower vendor, not the keeper of a place like Fleur. You're Tara, she said, not asking. I'm Ing. Come in. Inside wasn't what I expected. No shelves of charms or flickering lights, just a normal living room with a worn sofa, an old wooden coffee table, and the faint smell of toasted bread from the kitchen. Not what I thought, I blurted, rude even as the words left my mouth. Ing gave a small laugh, her Midwest drawl steady. I used to love the spotlight, glamorous makeup, fancy dresses, stepping out like a queen. But I learned my father was right. Hiding in plain sight is smarter. He ran lure before me, nearly 40 years. Now I get it. For a moment, something odd flickered. Ing transformed. Taller, thinner, red hair blazing, a sequined gown shimmering, black and green tattoos snaking down her arms. I blinked, and she was the plain woman again, leading me to a small office with a wooden desk and a cracked leather chair. She sat, eyeing me. I know your situation. I sympathize. Do you have kids? I asked. She shook her head. No, never wanted them. This job, it's complicated. Once a client threatened to burn my house down over a ring I wouldn't sell. No kids, less trouble. I nodded, leaving it there. Then I said, I've tried everything. Hormones, IUI, IVF. Nothing works. I just thought, maybe you have something. A charm, an ointment, anything. I forced a laugh, embarrassed by my own words. Inga didn't answer. She reached out, gesturing for me to do the same. I extended my hand and she spat into my palm. I flinched, but she held tight. rubbing the spit in small circles across my skin before letting go. "No normal method will work for you," she said. "Something's blocking you." "Blocking me?" I frowned, trying not to sound skeptical. "Yes, something powerful I can't quite see, but you can break it if you really want to." I stood, ready to leave. "Sounds like you can't help me any further." "No," she said, her voice firm. "You can help yourself. Sit down." I hesitated, then sat. Inga rang a small bell. A thin, red-haired man entered, carrying an old roll of fabric. She unrolled it, a gray, frayed rug with faded antelope shapes. "This is from the Ubaid period, 4800 BC, she said. "It survives because of its supernatural power. Want a wish? Kneel on it for 3 days and nights. No food, no water, no sleep. If you're determined enough, the spirit inside will come." "3 days?" I asked, almost laughing. "And the cost?" $5 million a day, non-refundable. I raised an eyebrow, but nodded. "Fine, I'll arrange it. What do you think Tara will do next? Will she take on this insane challenge or walk away? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I had 2 months to prepare. Ing scheduled me for October 17th, 2025. 3 solid days on that rug. I told my colleagues I was off to St. Bart's for a beach getaway. No one questioned it, though I hadn't taken a vacation since starting the fund 5 years ago. "You look stressed, Tara," my assistant Jen said as I left the office. "Enjoy yourself." I gave a weak smile, saying nothing. If they knew I'd be kneeling on a 7,000-year-old rug to beg for a kid, they'd think I'd lost it. To cover the $15 million, I sold some Bitcoin from my personal portfolio, the easiest asset to liquidate. The market was up. I made a decent profit, but the taxes were a headache. I called my accountant, told him to handle it fast, no questions. "Buying a yacht?" he joked. "Sure," I said, hanging up. Home was a mess. Marlon, my boyfriend of 8 years, had moved out after our last fight. "You're obsessed, Tara," he'd yelled, dragging his suitcase out of our Upper West Side apartment. I can't take it anymore. I texted apologies, called, but he didn't reply. That night, I sat on the couch, staring out the dark window, telling myself if the wish came true, I wouldn't need him. The baby would be mine alone. I prepped like an athlete for a tournament, slept 10 hours a night, ate extra protein, grilled chicken, boiled eggs, Greek yogurt, and did yoga to stay limber. I even dug out a tiny Virgin Mary statue from a box of old stuff, setting it on the kitchen counter. My mom gave it to me when I was 8, before she left. I'm not Catholic anymore, but I whispered to it, "Just this once, help me." Stupid, I know, but I was desperate. October 17th arrived. I got to Fleur at 7:45 p.m., wearing a gray tee, black leggings, and sneakers. Comfortable, like Inga instructed. I brought a small bag, toothbrush, face towel, and per her suggestion, a pack of adult diapers. I blushed buying them at CVS, but better safe than humiliated mid-trial. Ingi opened the door before I knocked, dressed in white linen with a tan apron, looking like a spa worker. She handed me a glass of cold water with a cucumber slice. "Drink," she said, "and use the bathroom first." I did, hands shaking as I washed my face in the small, white-tiled restroom. She led me up a spiral staircase, through a narrow third-floor hallway. Moans drifted from behind wooden doors. Prayers. Sobs. I couldn't tell. "Busy day?" I asked, forcing a steady tone. Inga replied coolly, "My client's business is private. If anyone asks about you, I'll say the same." I wondered how many others were kneeling on rugs, chasing crazy wishes like mine. We stopped at a door near the hall's end. Ing tapped the knob 3 times in rhythm, then opened it. Inside was an empty room. Bare brick walls, cold wooden floor, no windows. In the center, the Ubaid Rug lay still, tattered but strangely majestic, like a museum relic. The air felt heavy, like someone was watching. "The trial starts when you step on the rug," Inga said. "Kneel for 3 days. You can stretch, but don't leave it. To quit, knock on the door 3 times. You still pay, and there's no second chance." She paused, her gaze piercing. "Got any enemies? Someone spiteful enough to curse you?" I thought of a Silicon Valley guy whose company I tanked 3 years ago. Stocks crashed. He lost everything. He'd emailed threats, called me a cold-blooded bitch, but a curse? "I don't think they believe in this stuff," I said. Inga nodded. "Good. Start now." She left, shutting the door. I slipped off my sneakers, circling the rug, the floor icy under my bare feet. I hesitated, heart pounding. "You can do this, Tara," I told myself. "You've never quit." Then I stepped on, kneeling down. The first few minutes, nothing happened. I stared at the wall, holding a yoga pose to ease the strain. But then the rug's smell hit me. Damp earth, the acrid burn of ancient dye. My knees ached. My lower back twinged. I closed my eyes, picturing a gym class. But the pain yanked me back. Have you ever faced a challenge that made you doubt yourself? Should Tara keep going? Or give up now? Share your take. I'd love to hear your stories. The pain came faster than I expected. After a few hours, 6 maybe, my knees felt like they were stabbed with pins. My lower back cramped. I shifted positions, from upright to hunched, hands on the rug, but it didn't help. The fabric was hard as stone, chafing my skin raw. My sweat mingled with the rug's earthy stench, and my stomach growled with hunger. "You've got this," I muttered, voice hoarse. Time crawled to a standstill. No clock, no natural light. I lost track. To stay awake, I counted breaths. 1, 2, 3. But my mind drifted. I thought of my mom, who ditched me as a kid. She'd sit in an old armchair in our rundown Queens apartment, smoking cheap cigarettes, giggling when high. "You'll never amount to anything, Tara," she said once, before vanishing. I proved her wrong. But here I was, kneeling, begging for something she never cared about. A child. Then I saw something. A hazy figure in the corner. An old woman on a chair, knitting, needles clicking steadily. She looked up, eyes milky white, nodding at me. "Stand and stretch," she whispered. I stood shakily, joints popping, relief flooding through me. "This is the easy part," she murmured. "Quit now if you don't have the will." "My will's stronger than you think," I said, voice trembling but firm. She snorted, returned to her knitting, and faded away. The pain roared back worse than before. My right knee went numb, like the nerves had died. I knelt again, hands braced on the rug, nails clawing at the frayed threads. Hunger and thirst blurred my vision. I pictured Inga's cucumber water, or the morning coffee Marlon used to brew. He hated my stubbornness, but I'd rather die than prove him right. At some point, I saw my daughter, not a baby, but a woman around 30, brown hair like mine, eyes sharp as knives. She stood behind the old woman, hand on her shoulder, staring at me like she was judging. "You can't do it, Mom," she said, voice icy. "Give up. You don't know me," I growled, but my parched throat only hissed. I'd dreamed of her since I was a teen, sharing afternoon tea, watching her graduate from Columbia, popping champagne when she bought her first place. But there were nightmares too. Her at 16, skipping school with bad friends, bringing home a C, and me screaming, "Don't end up like your grandma." Now she stood here, mocking me. I collapsed face down on the rug, too weak to kneel. My right knee swelled, purple, maybe broken, I didn't know. I peeled off my soiled leggings, tossed them to the corner, then shed my shirt, lying naked, curled like a child. The old woman kept knitting, ignoring me. "How much longer?" I asked. Lips cracked and bleeding, she didn't answer. My daughter smirked. "You love yourself more than me. Face it." I wanted to scream she was wrong, but I couldn't. I remembered the dreams. I demanded her perfection, yelled over every flaw. I wanted her to be my best self, not the failure my mom was. But now, seeing her in this vision, I saw contempt in her eyes. She didn't want me. Suddenly, the rug seemed to stretch. Reaching the old woman's feet, she beckoned me closer. I crawled, nails digging into the fabric, knees dragging in agony. "Say your wish," she said, not looking up. "A daughter," I rasped. "My perfect daughter." She stopped knitting, meeting my gaze for the first time. "I can't do it," she said. "The rules forbid overriding another's wish." "What?" I choked, tears spilling from dry eyes. She raised the yarn, shadows dancing on the wall. I saw it. My daughter, my age now, kneeling on this same rug. She survived the 3 days, crawled to the old woman and said, "I wish I'd never been born, or that my mom was barren forever." Her voice shook. "She forced me to be perfect. I went to Yale, became a doctor, but I was never happy. I want her to know why." The old woman nodded, pulling the yarn, unraveling the rug, unraveling her existence. She looked at me. Her wish was stronger. "I can't give you what you want. How would you react to this twist? Will Tara fight her fate or accept defeat? Guess what happens next and share your ideas." I lay there, naked on the rug, my breath faint as a dying candle. The old woman gave me a final cold smile. "I can't help you," she said, "but you can come back anytime. You know where to find me." Then she stepped into the wall's shadows, vanishing with my daughter, the girl I never had but lost. The door opened. Ing walked in with a glass of water and a white cotton robe. I grabbed the glass, gulping desperately, water spilling down my chin onto the rug. She said nothing, just helped me up, guiding me to a small bathroom down the hall. I sat on the wet tile floor, warm shower water running over me, but I didn't feel clean. My knees were still swollen, bruised purple, but they moved. My body would heal, my mind wouldn't. I cried silently, tears mixing with the steam. Back at my Upper West Side apartment, I was a shell. I soaked in the tub for hours, skin wrinkling, trying to scrub away the rug's earthy smell. I ate chicken soup from the deli downstairs, drank fresh orange juice, but it all tasted flat. My phone buzzed with texts from Jen. "You okay? How's St. Bart's?" But I didn't reply. I didn't call the office, didn't touch my laptop. I'd been a relentless machine. Now I was ashes. I thought about my daughter, the vision girl. She went to Yale, became a doctor, but hated me. I'd wanted her perfect to make up for my mom, the woman who abandoned me as a kid, then died of an overdose in a Queens dump when I was 15. I found her on an armchair, eyes rolled back, next to a dead boyfriend. Cops took me to my aunt in Brooklyn, where I learned to survive, to climb. But now I wondered, did I escape my mom or become her? Late at night, I couldn't sleep. Thirst gnawed at me, but I didn't drink. I knelt on my bed, staring into the dark, imagining the old woman there, needles clicking. I whispered, "I wish my mom was barren. I want her to know why." In my head, I saw her pull the yarn, unraveling the rug another 38 years, erasing me. I smiled at the thought. No me, no daughter, no one suffering. Then I went further. What if my mom knelt on that rug, wishing her mom barren? And on, through centuries, each bad mother wiping out the last, the rug dissolving into a tangle of yarn, humanity gone. A mad idea, but it comforted me. Maybe I wasn't the last in that chain. Maybe my mom wanted it too, somewhere.